The hierarchy of most black families are women. And the day we realize that that is wrong, that is dysfunctional, that is problematic, that comes from the Willie Lynch letter
of the African woman, because she is the most important factor for good economics. It's the most important factor for good economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us.
right there. I want to play the rest of it, but that part right there is very important to explain. And thank y'all for coming on. Thank y'all for watching. But listen to this part right here. That comes from the Willie Lynch letter
of the African woman, because she is the most important factor for good economics.
She is the most important factor for good economics. Does anybody know what that means? The black woman is the most important factor for good economics. I'm going to explain it. But if you have an understanding of this, let me know what you think in the chat.
Most important factor for good economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now
we had to be greatly on guard at all times. Why would the slave owner, and this is from the Willie Lynch letter, why would the slave owner feel the need to be on guard at all times? Well, because the slaves that were out in the barn or out wherever they had them at, the slaves were big, strong men. And it was probably 12 of them or 6 of them or, whatever. And it usually is the slave owner, his wife, his dog, and a shotgun. And guess what? That is not enough to protect him and his wife from the big, strong slaves. So how does the slave owner, this is what's important, this is why we're talking about the single mothers, how does a slave owner keep these big, strong slaves that don't want to be slaves from overthrowing the slave owner? It's just him and his wife. How is it that he's able to just sleep soundly? Well, the woman. So listen to this. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. His woman stands guard for us.
The single mother, the woman stands guard for us. Why? Does anybody want to guess why? Why or how is the black woman protecting the slave owner from the slaves? Because the black woman has dominion over the black man. Why? Because the black woman is the mother of the slaves. Where is the father? The father got, if you ever seen a Predator movie, the movie Predator, Alien versus Predator, that's what happened to the black man. What they do on the movie The Predator. They hunt them, and pull them apart, right? So what happens is the black man gets blanked in front of the black woman, the husband, and then she looks at her kids, and the slave owner is like, so if you don't get your little boys in line, the same thing is going to happen to your little boys. So the mother is like, I don't want what just happened to my husband or to the man or my baby daddy or whatever to happen to my kids. So it's okay. We're going to protect you from I'm going to protect the slave owner and keep my kids from overthrowing this place. So what happens is, as the kids grow up, she indoctrinates her children. I'll say it again. The single mother indoctrinates her children and causes the children to grow up worshiping the slave owner. Everybody drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. What's up, Amira? So let me because the women are flipping out in the chat. So let's see. If they weren't black people, more self-aware back then. Hold on. Dimple says, why do you keep talking about this? Because y'all keep ruining black people. That's why. So I'll say it again. The reason why I keep talking about this is because y'all still are ruining black people. Y'all still are becoming, y'all still are having fatherless babies. See, if y'all stop having fatherless babies, this single mother epidemic would end. But y'all can't stop having random babies by random dudes. So the day y'all stop having random babies by random dudes, do you know how many women are walking around with 1-year-olds? That means she had a father's baby in 2024. So y'all are still having fatherless babies to this day, which means y'all still ain't got no goddamn sense. So that's the reason why I still keep talking about this. If y'all stop doing stupid shit, I'll stop talking about the stupid shit that y'all keep doing. All right? Do you have a solution to these problems or just want to complain? Well, if apparently you don't follow me or look at my content, I always have solutions. These are solutions. This particular solution right here, just as an example of a solution, is called Like Mother, Like Daughter, and is literally meant to help women fix their issues with their mothers. See, your biggest enemy, the black women, is another black woman, not men. We didn't do nothing to you. We actually are dealing with the shit that your mother did to you. Your mother is your greatest enemy. A lot of you have issues with your mother and you take out your issues on black men. So I created a solution for you to be able to sit down with your mother and figure out why your mother seems to hate you so much. Well, it's not that she hates you, she hates herself. And you are a replication of herself. So because she hates herself, she has this self-hate, and then she's walking around seeing a little you walking around, she hates you because she hates herself. But play my mother-daughter card game, you guys can have this conversation and you can find out that your mother hates herself. She hates her bad decisions. And she can literally say, I no longer hate you because I'm realizing that I'm just projecting my own childhood trauma onto you. I'm dealing with childhood trauma issues and I'm 40, 50 years old and I'm taking them out on you. So that is a solution. Dimple Young. All right. So drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Let me back this up and let's keep going. The hierarchy of most black families are women. And the day we realize that that is wrong, that is dysfunctional, that is problematic, that comes from the Willie Lynch letter
of the African woman, because she is the most important factor for good economics. Is the most important factor for good economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. His woman.
See, his woman, which is the child's mother, actually, the mother of the slaves, stands guard for us.
And stands guard for us. Say one female bears a female and the other bears a male. Both females, being without influence of their male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions.
Okay, so she comes back and says, why not have conversations about the healing? The healing from what, ma'am? So are you admitting that there is damage? Y'all see how that works? These women love to sit here and talk shit about people who want to figure this whole thing out, right? But they never want to admit that there is damage, that there is dysfunction, that there is a problem. But she admits that there is a problem by asking this question. Why not have conversations about the healing? I am having conversations about the healing. If you were to just let me finish my goddamn sentence. You just got on here. We've been on here for what? A good 1 minute? What do you think I'm here to talk about, goofball? What are you talking about? Shit. These women are so dysfunctional where all they want to do is argue. We're here to talk about a solution. What are you talking about? What do you think I'm on here for? Shit is nuts. But they so screwed up. They are so screwed up where they have this maladaptive backwards thinking where when we talk about a problem, they're like, oh, why you talk about the problem? Because it's a problem. They so screwed up. They are so screwed up. It's crazy.
Females being without influence of their male image, frozen with an independent psychology.
So listen to this. And just for the record, for any other goofball in my chat, for the last, I don't know how many months, I've been talking shit about men. My last video was talking about how stupid and dysfunctional Shannon Sharp was, and how I was glad that Shannon Sharp lost all his damn funding and all of his sponsorship because he's an idiot. I just been talking about Shannon Sharp, and before that, I was talking shit about Diddy. But the day I come on here and talk about black women, even after I spent months talking about black men, oh, now it's a goddamn problem. Some of you women, I'll say some of you, are so dysfunctional, you need to be in the nut house. You need to have a straight jacket on in a goddamn cloth covered room.
The other bears their male. Both females being without.
All right, so let's back this up because goddamn goofy ass women be pissing me off.
Frozen fear.
Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
His woman stands guard for us. His woman stands guard for us. Say one female bears a female and the other bears their male. Both females being without influence of their male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions. One with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself. She would have a strong dependency on the male. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state.
And right here, how many of you, put a 1 in the chat, how many of you have ever heard women say, well, I'm independent, or we black women are independent because we don't have a choice. We don't feel protected. We don't feel safe, right? And that is a real gripe, and I can understand that. So put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard a black woman say, well, we're independent because we're out here on our own. We're independent because we don't feel protected by black men, right? Listen to this right here. Is literally what the Willie Lynch letter said right here. Remember, women today in 2025 literally say we are independent because we don't feel protected, right? Watch this.
With an independent psychology will raise their offspring into reverse positions. One with the female offspring will
independent. Strong, independent women. How did they become strong and independent? From the Willie Lynch letter.
Females being without influence of their male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise.
See, the independent woman bullshit started from the Willie Lynch letter. I'm strong, I'm independent. Well, why don't you want a man to come in and protect you? Well, because of what society did to the black man, I don't feel safe. How the hell you think it happened like this?
Factor for good economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. Say one female bears a female, and the other bears a male. Both females being without influence of their male image, frozen with an independent psychology.
Without the influence of the male image. Because you were raised by a single mother. Your mother was raised by a single mother. Your grandmother was probably still raised by a single mother.
Will raise their offspring into reverse positions. One with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself. She would have a strong dependency on the male. Nature had provided for this type of balance. We reversed nature.
We reversed nature. A lot of you ladies have a reversed nature about yourself. You want to be a man instead of being a damn woman.
Reversed nature.
And guess what? Reverse nature happens with black men. How many black men are running around gay? They want to be women. Do you know there's more men dressing like women than there are women dressing like men? There are studs out there. Yes. I'm not saying there aren't, but there are more men that want to be women than women wanting to be men.
By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image.
See, her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed. That's what's going on right now.
Alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed, the ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state. In this frozen psychological state of independence, she will raise her male and female offspring in reversed roles, in reversed roles, in reversed roles. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak, mentally weak, mentally weak. What have you got?
Yep.
You've got the woman out front and the man behind and scared. By killing of the protective male image, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns on its own axis forever. Unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male.
And I am the phenomenon. I need y'all to listen to this last part right here.
Own access forever.
Hold on. See, this letter happened like, I think 1830 or something.
And the woman out front and the man behind and scared. By killing.
Listen to this part right here.
Of the protective male image, we have created an orbiting cycle that turns.
An orbiting cycle that spins on its own axis forever. And we're in forever now.
On its own axis forever, unless a phenomenon occurs and reshifts the position of the male and females.
And see, the thing about it is, I am one of the phenomenons that will shift things back to the way they used to be, right? But black women don't want things to go back to the way they used to be. If you listen to any modern black woman, she'll say the exact same thing. Well, why y'all want us to go back to the way they were? See, in this world, I would say 2021, not really now, because y'all are like going homeless. Black women are going homeless left and right. So not right now, but back in 2021, y'all ran around bragging about how y'all are independent. Y'all don't need no man. All this stupid shit that y'all say is in that particular video, right? I can even go farther and show y'all this.
Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe
for hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years.
Thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and... Hold
on, let me back that up. You must do what?
The male, and the male versus the female.
That's the red pill bullshit. That is the red pill cornball shit right there.
Dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. If used intensely for 1 year, the slaves themselves will remain perpetually distrustful. This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, we had to be alertly on guard at all times. Now we can sleep soundly, for out of frozen fear, his woman stands guard for us. He cannot get past her early slave molding process. He is a good tool, both females being without influence of male image.
So, in other words, everybody hit the like button, everybody watching, hit the like button, we can go a little farther.
Process of the African woman. Take spring in reversed roles. The ordinals. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong. For fear of the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent.
So what this has actually done, what the single mother epidemic has done, is it made black men almost gay. Well, a lot of them are gay, but it made black men so weak and so stupid where y'all don't want to be with a lot of us. So a lot of you ladies have created the same man that you despised. You're raising men to be what the next generation is going to hate. Just like your mama, well, our mamas raise us, not me, but black men in particular, to be bitches. And now, what are y'all doing? What is wrong with these men? Y'all are what's wrong with these men. Watch this.
Don't take care of his kid. And I take care of Sean. And you scared to have a kid
that
with
don't
me.
have nothing. You scared to have a kid with a nigga that don't have nothing.
But this nigga that don't have nothing take care of your kid right now.
That had to push the nigga to get an apartment for himself.
You kicked me out. How did you dare? How did you dare?
Now listen to what he says. How do you care? She does care. That's why she ain't letting your bum ass get her pregnant. So this argument right here is literally a bum ass dude living in her house. And what he wants to do, what he needs to do is get her pregnant so she won't kick him out. But she's like, no, you got to go because you trying to get me pregnant. So she's trying to get rid of him before she gets stuck with him. Because there are a lot of scenarios where the man is trying to trick the woman into having a baby and not just the woman tricking the man.
Father that don't take care of his kid. And I take care of Sean. And you scared to have a kid with me.
So you got to listen. You got to pay attention. Does he look physically strong? Put a 1 in the chat if he looks physically strong, because I'm making a point. And even the guys, does he look like he's strong? And you know, this ain't no pause moment. Does he look physically strong? Yes or no? Because I want y'all to understand something.
Process of the African woman.
Put a 1 in the chat if that man looks physically strong, because I'm making a point.
But physically strong. For fear of
right here. So the dudes be big as hell, be strong as hell, but they mentally weak right here.
the young male's life, she will psychologically train him to be mentally weak and dependent, but physically strong.
Oh. So does he look physically strong?
Take care of his kid. And I take.
So this is what the black man has become. He's a big, strong dude, but he's just dumb and inept. This is the science that is actually happening to black men. He's a big, strong dude.
Father that don't take care of his kid. And I take care of Sean. And you scared to have a kid
that
with me.
Don't have nothing. You scared to have a kid with a nigga that don't have nothing.
But this nigga that don't have nothing take care of your kid right now.
That had to push the nigga to get an apartment for himself.
You kicked me out. How did you dare?
How did you dare? For yourself.
And I have no.
How do you care? She does care. That's why she's not letting your bum ass get her pregnant.
No money.
Yeah.
I had $0.
At 46 years old, had to go get a crib.
See, listen, I had zero money.
I have no money.
Yeah.
I had $0.
At 46 years old, had to go get a crib for himself and the first time for his life. I'm scared. I'm scared to have sex with you.
46 years old, ain't never had a crib for himself.
6 years old, had to go get a crib for himself and the first himself.
And I have no money.
Yeah.
I had $0.
At 46 years old, had to go get a crib for himself and the first time for his life. I'm scared. I'm scared to have sex with you, to have a baby with you.
Fellas, let me tell y'all something. If you can't walk through your house for a minute straight without running into a wall, you don't need to be worrying about having no baby. Because where the hell is the baby going to sleep? Where you going to put the bassinet? The truth is, a lot of you men are broke and you don't want to admit it. But you want a baby, you want a woman, you want all these different things. But you haven't put yourself in a position where you can house a woman and a future baby. But you shit on women when they get with other dudes that can't house a woman. But you are the same freaking dude. Fellas, if you can't house a woman, you don't need to be thinking about no damn baby. Because the thing about it is, the second she has the baby, she's going to start talking shit because her hormones are racing. And when things start getting ugly, your ass is going to leave and she's going to have to raise a baby by herself. And what happens next? She put me on child support. Oh my God. And then you're going to go on YouTube whining about how you on child support now. Stop trying to get these goddamn women pregnant if you don't have nowhere to house a damn woman. But this is what the Willie Lynch letter has trained black women to do. So 20 years ago, y'all, 20 years ago, a single mother raised a little boy to be a bitch. And guess what? Here's an example of that happening right here.
Wait, did Diddy's mom force him to engage in these freak?
Even Diddy. The reason why Diddy is so screwed up, it was because of his goddamn mother.
Wait. Did Diddy's mom force him to engage in these freak-offs when he was still a minor? Chill, these Diddy stories are getting way out of hand. And honestly, at this point, it's hard to say what's fact and what's not. Because every single day, there are more and more horrific stories about this man. And now the streets are saying that Diddy's mom was involved in the freak-offs and that he grew up to be the way that he did because of his messed up childhood. So word on the street is his mom, Janice Combs, was an escort, and she would sometimes make Diddy watch her indulge in these freak-offs when he was still a kid. As if this wasn't bad enough, his dad was also the leader of a very notorious gang in Harlem back in the day, and he would physically assault people and sometimes even unalive them in front of Diddy. Now, this don't excuse any of his behavior, not one bit, but at least it gives us a little explanation as to where Diddy inherited all these nasty fetishes and extreme.
Keyword, Diddy inherited all of these nasty fetishes. He inherited this.
Tendencies from. Okay, so ever since Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy's whole life has pretty much gone down the drain. He's lost over 18 brand deals. He was kicked off of his position as chairman at his own company, Revolt.
Hold on. So Jason says, he's talking to somebody in the chat. Like, you tell us go build a house. Oh yeah. You will send police, sheriff, trooper, Mike for me being on my planet doing is what? Jason, what are you talking about? I don't understand. I'm trying to see what you're in the chat arguing about. You can try that, Lucifer. Mike, I ain't got no problem with you. Keep doing your thing. But what are you saying, Jason? Can you say in the chat what your actual issue is? I'm just trying to see what is going on. Y'all can keep talking. I ain't got no problem. But you know, you can do what you do. I'm just trying to get understanding of what y'all in the chat arguing about. But keep going. I'm cool.
TV, he's now being dragged to court by the company that distributes his alcohol beverage, and the SAs keep piling up by the day. It's definitely not going to be long before he wipes his bank account clean to fund all life. For the family, his mom Janice was working 3 jobs, and allegedly escorting was one of them. My mother worked 3 jobs, and my
so his mom by herself was out selling ass and bringing the Johns back to the house and letting her own son watch her having sex.
grandmother worked too. At an early age, I started my own paper route. According to the internet, Janice would sometimes bring some of the men that she hooked up with to the house. This is something that she would do often, and Diddy would witness it happen all the time. As if this wasn't already bad enough for an underage kid to be seeing, it's also been reported by multiple sources that his father was a gang leader in Harlem. This was confirmed by
and she picked a Pookie to have a baby with. A lot of you ladies pick gang members, drug dealers, the stupidest men, the pieces of shit of society to have a goddamn baby with. So, like, The shit is crazy.
Magazine back in 2013 in an explosive article where they investigated the parents of a lot of popular rappers. The article read, Diddy's dad, Melvin Combs, was a well-known Harlem gangster who had connections to both Frank Lucas.
So this is who y'all have babies with. Like, how can we not say you don't hate your children when before the child even is born, you have a baby with a piece of shit human? That's another level of self-hate. That's almost pre-hate. Like, you do something to show us that you hate us by having us with a bum. Listen to this.
Some of the men that I feel like are like hate black women the most were raised by black women that hate black men. Absolutely. When
Rewind.
and I'm gonna be real with you, some of the men that I feel like are like hate black women the most were raised by black women that hate black men. Absolutely. When I first started experiencing how my ex-husband's mother treated him and talked to him, to this day, I don't think I have ever seen somebody be so disrespectful to a black man. Not even white people, y'all. And I'm talking about in real life, in person. Like, I've never heard someone disrespect a black man as bad as my ex-husband's mother disrespected him. And when I saw that, when I experienced and like saw how she would talk to him, like so casually in front of his wife, I said, no wonder this nigga beats my ass. No wonder this nigga beats my ass.
Raised by loving parents.
So this is what happens to us, little boys and little girls. This is what happens to us as little boys and little girls. Watch this.
Emmanuel, raised by loving parents, explores freely. He grabs new toys with curiosity and delight. Babies play differently when they come from a secure home.
So the point of me of y'all watching this is our maladaptive issues starts when we're babies. And when we're raised by a single mother and we're broke, we live in the hood, you're on food stamps, you're sleeping with this dude, you're sleeping with that dude, your life is in shambles, and we're the baby. All we want is our mommy, but we can't get our mommy because mommy is out here selling ass or sleeping with all these different dudes or just working 2 jobs, frustrated because there's no father. We don't even know what a father is at this age because you didn't provide us for one. So we don't know that we need a father at this age as a baby because all we see is this woman, this anxious woman, this frustrated woman. And why is she frustrated? Because she ain't got no man. But not having a man does not stop you from having a goddamn baby. And that's a goddamn problem. So we're babies, not even realizing that we supposed to have we supposed to have 2 parents. Imagine that you're a baby and you don't even realize that you're supposed to have 2 parents. And you're like, yo, something's wrong. So that's what's going on with these babies.
Emmanuel, raised by loving parents, explores freely. He grabs
Loving parents with an S.
New toys with curiosity and delight. Babies play differently when they come from a secure home, when they have known love and consistent care.
Secure home. Safe home. Home that is not full of chaos and frustration and anxiety. Your environment as a baby is very important.
Christine, who attends nursery every day, is the same. The love and stability of her family give her the confidence to get lost in play. But when that love is missing and when babies experience emotional deprivation, then the way they play changes.
It changes.
Carolyn, neglected in early life, shows fleeting interest in toys. Her attention is fixed on the adults in the room. She's searching, not playing. Veronique, institutionalized, won't even touch the blocks.
And I want to explain what's happening to these babies right here. Let me back it up a little bit. You see how the babies are looking around?
Play changes. Carolyn, neglected in early life, shows fleeting interest in toys.
See, when you're a baby, a child, or an adult, and your life is full of chaos, you're not getting the love and attention you need, you spend so much time doing this because you're searching for something. There's something intrinsic inside of you that has you searching for something extrinsic. See, when you don't get filled with love, filled with an identity, you do this all day as an adult and not just a child. Because a lot of people, they can't put their phones down because they're like this, scrolling like a zombie, just like the little baby going like this. Because when you're not filled with purpose, filled with love, filled with a stable identity, you're just going like this, looking outside. And then what happens is you seek validation from the outside world instead of your base, which is your parents, which is the people that you love, yourself. So you need to seek outside validation every day of your life, just like the baby going like this. You're doing this because you don't have an identity. So you seek an identity from confirmation from the outside world. So when the outside world says you're fine, you're pretty, you're handsome, you're worthy, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm worthy. Because nobody told you that you're worthy as a child that was inside of your house. But guess what? Does the world ever tell you that you're worthy? No. Especially when you Black. Women don't tell men that the men are worthy, and men don't tell women that they're worthy. You know why? Because we don't feel worthy. How can an unworthy person tell another person that they're worthy? They don't damn know because they're not worthy. So in other words, going back to this video, imagine a room full of babies doing this.
Interest in toys.
Imagine a room full of babies looking around, confused, don't know what's going on. Everybody's just looking like this. So they're searching for worthiness from unworthy people because everybody was raised by a single mother. Well, majority of people were raised by a single mother, Black people in particular. So when you search out in the world to get your worthiness from another person that doesn't think they're worthy, what are you going to do? They don't want you to be worthy because they don't think they're worthy. So they're going to shit on you. So the women are going to shit on the men, and the men are going to shit on the women. And the women are going to shit on the women, and the men are going to shit on the men. So now we all as adults are looking around like this. Look, you can't even concentrate because you're so worried. Worried. Look at this shit. Child don't like, no. Like, where are you? I don't want to play with this. I want to play with you. This is us as adults. We're so goddamn maladaptive and so goddamn confused and so goddamn lost. We can't even just do something as simple as play. Look at this shit. This is us. This is how grown ass people operate. What is this? What I gotta do this? Don't even know how to play. Don't even know how to just be by yourself because you're tired of being by yourself. This is grown ass people. being raised by single mothers. This is our inner child that feels like disregarded, neglected, confused, thrown to the side.
The same. The love and stability of her family give her the confidence to get lost in play. But when that love is missing, and when babies experience emotional deprivation, then the way they play changes. Carolyn, neglected in early life, shows fleeting interest in toys. Her attention is fixed on the adults in the room. She's searching, not playing. Veronique, institutionalized, won't even touch the blocks.
See, when you are missing something, you can't play. You can't enjoy life. See, this looking around that the babies are doing, that is a person with an anxious attachment style. They're looking around because they're always worried about what somebody's thinking about them. Is somebody paying attention to them? What the other people are doing, instead of just being free to just live, being free to just enjoy the blocks. A lot of y'all can't even enjoy your own lives because you're so worried about what somebody else is doing.
Jean watches the psychologist's every move, as if hoping for connection.
Yes. Like the child is like, yo, since I'm so touch deprived, I'm so connection deprived, I need to touch or play with a person. And you keep giving me toys to play with. I don't want to play with these toys. I want to play with you. Pick me up. And what ends up happening is you end up becoming an avoidant attachment style where all you want to do is play with toys. You don't want to be touched by another person. And you know who that is? A lot of Black women. What is the toys that Black women want to play with instead of having physical interactions with men? Dildos, vibrators. So Black women are the opposite of these kids. All they want to do is play with their toys. They don't need no man. They don't want no man. See, this is an anxious attachment style, what you're looking at. But the opposite of that is the avoidant attachment style, where all they want to do is play with their toys. And they don't want touch or interaction. All they want to do is play with their goddamn vibrators. What's up, Pammy Pam?
Some don't move at all. Frozen, withdrawn, silent. This is the cost of maternal deprivation.
Yes.
There is a critical window in a baby's life, a time when they need to be held, responded to consistently and reliably. That's how they learn the world is safe. Without that safety, some wounds may never heal.
Shan T says, I couldn't understand why I didn't know how to play, enjoy life, and be carefree. I had an avoidant attachment style or anxious attachment style. So yeah, exactly, Shan. And this is what's happening to a lot of men and women. Like, I enjoy being out flirting with women, talking to women, meeting different guys and having conversation with like, yo, what do you do? Oh, you do this. Oh, you do this, learning what other guys are doing or whatever. I love interacting with other humans, whether male or female. I like human interaction, right? But a lot of people, especially on YouTube, all they grew up doing is just interacting with things instead of people. So they can get on YouTube and just sit around and whine about women all fucking day, but they can never go outside and play and interact with other boys and girls because They didn't do it when they was a child. And then they turn into this.
50-50. Girl, we are in last place. Look at it. Income.
Listen to this bullshit. This stupid dude is laughing that we're all in last place. Listen to his exuberance. Listen to this shit.
And black women are complaining about 50-50. Girl, we are in last place. Look at it. Income by ethnicity. We are in dead last place. Well, I'll never go 50-50 with my man. Shut up, bitch. Look. Open your eyes for once and look. And you're telling me you're going to use one income because you refuse to go 50-50 with your man? You will never make it. We are in last place.
Listen to this laugh. But this shit is so sad. He's like, yo, we all are in last place, so you have no choice but to be with me. You're broke and I'm broke, so be with me. No, you bum. Because you end up in a situation where you want to get your stupid ass is going to get the woman pregnant. And then the second you get her pregnant, you're going to run around complaining that she got you on child support.
Make it. We are in last place.
He's laughing. We're in last place. What this man is essentially saying is, look, ladies, we all are broke. Why would you expect more out of us? And this is the biggest problem about black men in particular. I have men in my comments saying, yo, why are you going off on men instead of women? Well, I was going off on women about single motherhood. Women are no longer just running around becoming single mothers. Then I started going off on women about being independent. And I told them that being independent is stupid. We all need each other. And guess what? You never hear women talking about being independent anymore. So that got fixed. So now, since women are overall more. And the reason why women are not saying that they're independent is because they got to pay back their student loans and they're going homeless. So they can't say they're independent. More ambitious and not having fatherless babies. Now all of these ambitious women don't have any men to actually date because so many of you have the same mindset as this dude right here. Because what this graph is essentially saying is 80% of black men are broke. And this man in this video is happy about it. Because if the median income is $50,000, that means there's another 20% of men. So listen to this. 80% of black men are broke. Listen to this. And this man in this video is happy about it. Because if the median income is $50,000, that means there's another 20% of men that are making less than that. And the worst part of all of this, you actually think, even though you're not applying yourself and you're broke, you deserve a woman? Are you nuts? I'm doing a live stream about this on YouTube because I got a lot more to say. Mr. Leg, go on YouTube. This is what's happening out here, y'all. So I posted the video of the Willie Lynch letter stuff, right? And all of a sudden, I got all these dudes saying, yeah, that's why we need to date white women. And I'm like, what? So I played this on Instagram. Black families are women. And the day we realize that that is wrong, that is dysfunctional, that is problematic, that comes from the Willie Lynch letter. And as you can see, it literally says in big plain words, it's the single mother epidemic, an ongoing psyop ran by the federal government. So the enemy is not black women. The enemy is the federal government, right? It says it's a single mother epidemic, an ongoing psyop ran by the federal government. So all these idiots come in my chat, well, my comment section on Instagram, talk about, yeah, get your passports. Yeah, get with a white woman. And I'm like, are you dumb? Women were puppet. Women were the conduit. Women didn't do this. White America did this. And your answer is to go get with a white person? What? But these dudes are programmed to hate black women. And I just played how. So these dudes are programmed to hate black women. It's right here.
Differences and make them bigger.
Where is right here?
This is a perfect situation of sound sleep and economics. Before the breaking process, the male and the male versus the female.
Right
Use
there.
the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female.
That's it right there. So black men are also the conduit, the puppets of white America in the Willie Lynch letter. But all these dudes, they hate black women so much where they ignore the fact that the government is doing this to both of us. And they turn around and say, yeah, go get a white woman. But their hate for black women is so deep rooted. Well, it's so deeply programmed, I would say. So single motherhood, the black church, and rap music all are working in unison to destroy black people. The answer to this that will fix all of this is for black men to raise their children along with the black woman. And it's a simple, scenario, but it is what it is.
High school dropouts are from...
Y'all listen to this shit.
71% of high school dropouts are from single mother homes. 70% of youths in operated institutions are from single mother homes. 80% of all the youths that are in prison are from single mother homes. 90% of homelessness and runaway children are from single mother homes. You can't put that on the mother. 85% of children who show behavioral disorders are from single mother homes. 80% of rapists with anger problems are from single mother homes. 63% of youth are from single mother homes.
Blame the woman. Well, he didn't blame guys, why is your immediate reaction you're blaming the woman when he's just reading a stat? And the reason I would put it on the woman is because you pick who you have a baby with.
That's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. October 3074 says, Aaron, black males have been mean to me since I was a child, but I don't despise black men, thankfully. Do you know why they were mean to you? And were black women mean to you also? Because sometimes we don't realize that everybody is mean to us. The same amount of black men that were mean to you, if you think about it, black women were mean to you also. See, black people are mean to black people. Think about it. What do rappers brag about so much? Killing another black person or deleting another black person. So we all are programmed to be mean to each other. Black women hate other black women. Hate, H-A-T-E. They hate other black women. They despise other black women.
And that don't have women. Yes, they're feeling disenfranchised, but those are legitimate complaints because if we don't listen.
So listen to this cornball talk about how black men deserve pussy. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Listen to this cornball say, if black men don't start getting pussy, they're going to start taking it. He says this.
Even those men that don't have women, yes, they're feeling disenfranchised, but those are legitimate complaints because if we don't listen to that population of men that are not getting women because they're feeling less than, and the women are making them feel so, if we don't curtail this woman, I'm sorry.
This shit is so gay. Black women aren't making black men feel less than. They're already less than. Niggas ain't got no job. Niggas ain't been to no gym. Niggas is fat. Niggas is out of shape. Niggas be breathing hard. Niggas ain't got no education. Niggas be dumb.
Even those men that don't have women, yes, they're feeling disenfranchised, but those are legitimate complaints because if we don't listen to that population of men that are not getting women because they're feeling less than, and the women are making them feel so, if we don't curtail this woman, I'm sorry, this man, this population of men will soon one day rise up. This is what you see the simps doing first.
Like some apes or some shit. This cornball says black men are gonna raise up like Planet of the Apes or some shit. What is wrong with these fucking dudes?
That's the light skinned version of the man that's not getting none. The dark skinned gangster version of that man.
So it's not because he has no identity. It's not because he isn't ambitious. It's not because he isn't lazy. It's because women won't give him none. And that's the reason, that's the problem, because women don't value him. You have to value yourself, sir, and women will give you some because you value yourself. Everything starts from inside. So if you want to get inside of a woman, your insides have to be valued. So how it works? Everything is intrinsic. So women won't allow a man to get inside of her if he does not believe in the inside of him. That's simple life.
There's a man that's sick of this shit, and now he's in prison. He about to off somebody. I'm taking anybody's life because I'm sick of not being wanted, not being desired, etc., etc. Now we can try to.
I'm about to go to prison because I'm not desired by women. Well, go your dumb ass to prison then. Go your dumb ass to prison then if that's how you feel.
We can try to act as though he's not manly, and understand.
You're not manly if you're taking out all of your problems on women. What are you talking about?
Parts of him that are not holding close to integrity. But at the same time, I think that that's a legitimate thing that we need to address. And I don't think the best way to do it is to call it a complaint. The submission thing is something that men are legitimately have an issue with. And it's not just the poor men. I'm hearing rich men say, yeah, we can't, but Leonardo DiCaprio can't even get a woman to completely submit to him so he can find a wife and sit his ass down.
Leonardo DiCaprio be dating teenagers like Shannon Sharp. Leonardo DiCaprio don't want no grown-ass woman to be with. If anybody knows about Leonardo DiCaprio and some of these other white dudes, they only date teenagers. So of course he can't find a woman to submit because he's a goddamn PDF file. What are you talking about?
He keep trading in 25-year-olds every year. Every 5 years. All right. So we're all having.
Why are you dating 25-year-olds?
This issue. This is a big complaint to have. I don't think the way to handle it is to complain about it, but I do think we should address it. So my question to you, Let It Go, is how do you think men should address it without it being a complaint, so to speak?
This is my issue with all of this. This is me. I was on this TikTok, whatever TikTok is, TikTok Live or whatever the hell. And shout out to Kanal Speaks. That's the show I was on. I think men do complain too much, whether it's a solution or not. It is not masculine for men to be running around complaining. So the way I just look at life is really simple. You don't get what you want, which is complaining about stuff. You get what you negotiate. So complaining on the internet is for like little boys, children, or women. That's what women do. So when women are complaining on the internet, they're supposed to do that because that's, they're women. But when men do it, it's not masculine. So this is the answer to everything because life is very simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. There's something called attrition. Attrition simply means as time goes by, problematic people simply get phased out. Yep. So when it comes to men talking about women, why are you talking about women? Why don't you just move in a certain direction, choose this woman, choose that woman? And if everybody operates the way they supposed to operate instead of in this feminine operation, the women who are problematic are going to fall to the wayside and they are going to just simply fall in line. See, leading, and I think this is the problem with black people, leading is not about having somebody behind you. Don't worry about who's behind you. Just move in a direction. Like imagine all of us was in a plane crash or whatever and everybody survived and everybody want to go in totally different directions. I'm okay with that because everybody is going to find or, go towards the person that they want to follow. I'm not going to be yelling at y'all like, y'all need to listen to me. Y'all need to go this way. And put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I'm saying. All these cornballs on YouTube want to sit around and whine about women. And they think because they're whining about women, women are just going to start listening. No. All a man has to do is work and move in a certain direction. And then when you move in a certain direction, women are going to be like, ooh, ooh. You know how y'all be trying to look sexy with your finger in your mouth? Ooh, ooh, look at him. And she's going to start admiring you because you're admirable. You're admirable. And next thing you know, women are going to see you and start following you and start flocking to you and start like dropping signs that she wants you to talk to her. No man that whines about women gets women. Because that's gay to whine about women all day. I'm just going to start walking. And if somebody wants to follow me, cool. I'm just going to do what I know whatever I have to do and just move. Men spend so much time arguing with women, yelling at women, complaining about women because they are not following. Who gives a shit? Just do your job as a man. The more you grow, the more you ascend, people, men, women, cats, and dogs are going to want to follow you. Mm-hmm. Men spend so much time just arguing. So hopefully y'all can just imagine. I want to give y'all a visual. Just imagine the plane crash situation and just understand who leads, who follows. It don't matter. If you know what you're doing, be like, raise your hands. Hey, I know what I'm doing. Or I used to be in the military. I did it. I've been in a plane crash before, whatever. I'm going this way. And that's it. Ain't no arguing. So as men, you got to stop arguing and just move. That's it. Because at the end of the day, women to a certain degree are hormonal. So they are naturally going to be all over the place. She's a different person like 4 times a month. Let her do what she do. Mm-hmm. As a man, you stay consistent and do your job and move in direction and don't worry about no goddamn women.
A lot of times we're talking about in the breadth of relationships, we're talking about what we are doing wrong so that we can fix it. One of the things that men are seeing in common is women not submitting. I think if we weren't to talk.
You see how the nigga ignored everything I said and started whining about women all over again? Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? This is what's wrong with these cornballs. Listen to this shit again. She's a different person like 4 times a month. Let her do what she do. As a man, you stay consistent and do your job and move in direction and don't worry about no goddamn women. You see that, right? Then here comes this cornball ignoring everything I said and says this.
A lot of times we're talking about in the breadth of relationships, we're talking about what we are doing wrong so that we can fix it. One of the things that men are seeing in common is women not submitting. I think if we weren't to talk about these things, men would go silent. All right? I don't think that would be good for us. And the reason I don't think it would be good for, and maybe it would over the long term, but in the short term, I think it would end up being some very bad things. You'd have a whole bunch of women online talking to each other about what they hate about relationships, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I doubt, just because of how we understand women's temperament, I doubt most of them would come to the conclusion that, you know what, I'm tired of talking back and forth with y'all about how terrible men are. I'm going to go get me a man and do what men want. I doubt they would come to that conclusion. In all honesty, I think that it would be the death of them altogether.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Like I like to offer concepts and systems, right? So the concept that I just offered was the plane crash, right?
Okay.
So imagine all of us on plane crash, we out looking crazy, we grabbing our stuff or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If you see some dudes over there complaining that the women over here are not following them, wouldn't you look at both of them like idiots? Wouldn't you just grab your stuff and try to grab a knife or and just start figuring stuff out and get with whoever is trying to work with you? Let
me ask you.
Hold on. And the thing about it is, there's no reason for a man to complain about a woman that he either doesn't want or isn't on his like you know what I'm saying? Like, who cares?
All right, well, let me answer. No,
Yeah.
first of all, if there were a plane crash, I don't think that's how men would act to begin with. Would do. Most men would huddle up in a pack. We'd probably exclude the women for this talk, by the way, because we would understand that we have to
He's missing the whole goddamn point.
in the wild. So now
So fellas running around talking shit about women all day is gay. And you may say this live stream is talking about women. No, this is talking about black families. The majority of what I've been saying actually is me talking shit about men. That was a man talking, not a woman. So I am not in that category. I talk shit about black families. Like, my shirt is what I talk about. Family empowerment. God, husband, wife, child. So no, I talk about black families, not black women. But any man you see on YouTube that's sitting around whining about women all fucking day, I need you to say, stop whining about women. Or say, stop whining about women all day. So what I want y'all to do is to go to other people's YouTube shows, chats or whatever. And if they whining about women, talking shit about women, you know, just number dudes on there sitting around talking about women, I need you to go in there and just say, Mr. Let Go said, stop whining about women. We need to fix this shit because it's gay. But I'm out of here. Y'all had a good rest of y'all day. And let me know what y'all think about this whole conversation in the actual comments, because the chat and the comments are different. So drop your city in the comments. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. And y'all have a good rest of y'all day. And one of the solutions that the person accused me of not having is this.
Mom or your daughter? Well, I have the answer. Like mother, like daughter card. Feeling distant from your mom or your daughter? Well, I have the answer. Like mother, like daughter card game gives you a fun way to reconnect with the person you love the most. Sometimes we're so engulfed into our role of mom or daughter, we can lose sight of how we both have the same needs. We both may have an inner child that has been rejected, and all she wants is to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. The cool part about the like mother, like daughter card game is that you both have your own set of questions, so no one feels judged. It's like therapy in a box. Click the link below and take advantage of our pre-Mother's Day sale.
There was one of these decks, and I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, like talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And
And remember, y'all, Mother's Day is a few days away. So get your mother-daughter card game. The link is under this video. Get your mother-daughter card game. The Mother's Day is like what? When is Mother's Day? The 15th, the 17th? Hit the link and get your Mother's Day card game.
just allowed us to be very nostalgic and really take that road down memory lane. So that was this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it, guys. We're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box.
It's actually the 11th. Y'all better get y'all damn mother-daughter card game. It's the 8th. Click the link and get your mother-daughter card game, y'all. It's the damn 8th.
You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
And the coolest part of this particular card game
yeah.
is in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her, and you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state.